So, am I the arsehole for refusing to babysit my grandchild because my daughter-in-law demanded that I pretend to be nanny? Story time. Now, I read this and I went no further because I thought we could assess together. Nanny has two meanings. You can be nana, nanny, grandma, nanny, nana, grandma, nan, grandy pops, So is this nanny as in nice person that comes into the family to look after children as like a employee, or are you nanny? So let's go. My son Steve and his wife Amy just had their first baby, a little girl, and I was completely over the moon. All throughout the pregnancy, I was crocheting blankets, I'd stocked up my pantry with baby food, and even moved some of my shifts around so I could help out when they needed. That's lovely. It's a village. Amy and I have never been the best of friends, but I always kept things polite for Steve's sake. Well done. Last week, she invited me over for a chat, and I swear down, Tatty, I thought she was going to ask me to be the godmother of my grandchild. No, she sits me down and says, "We're really grateful for your help, but when you're around the baby, we'd like you to refer to yourself as Nanny Bertha instead of Grandma." So far, I'm on Amy's side. We've got Nanny Bertha, we've got Nanny Teresa, It's just helping the child learn. We're advancing the newborn's dialect. I asked why, and she says, and I quote, "We just don't want her to think we're old. We just don't want her thinking we're old. I asked her why, and she says, we just don't want, sorry? Me and Bertha, we could be friends. For some context here, I'm 61, I'm very active though, I do Pilates, I work full time, and I love a hike, and suddenly I'm not allowed to be a grandma. So you're wanting to be a grandma, but they're wanting you to be a nanny. Confusion. Let's continue. You think you get it? Would you like to?
I think that they want to call her nanny, as in nanny who looks after
the baby. They want her to be the hot. I see. Be grandma, right? So she's been given this title of nanny, thinking cool young person that comes to look after the child, whereas they see grandma as a cute old woman that bakes cookies, watches the chase. That I understand. Whereas you're quite happy being grandma. I told her I wasn't comfortable with that. She says, "Well, if you can't respect our wishes, we might have to find alternative childcare." So I said, "Sounds like you already have your answer," and I left. Wow. Steve called me really upset, crying that night, saying I was punishing him and he doesn't want to choose between his wife and his mum. Hang on a sec. But I feel like they're the ones making me choose between pretending to be someone I'm not and never seeing my granddaughter. So am I the arsehole for refusing to babysit my child over a name, or am I allowed to draw a line at rewriting my identity just to make someone else feel younger? But she's trying to make them feel younger. I don't know. I don't understand this. Listen, at the end of the day, you should choose what you want your grandchild to call you. And it has nothing to do with them feeling old. And you're 61, maybe let's say you had your Steve at 20. So these parents are now 40, which is fine, But do they just want a cooler nickname for their childcare? But then they want to say, "Oh, nanny's looking after it. The nanny's looking after baby Amy today." I wonder if it's that they just want to be seen to have a nanny because it elevates their status, or, Steve, what's his face? Joe had a nanny growing up, and that went great for Joe. Look at him; he can't even sit straight. Yes, Joe had a nanny and he felt that he never got that connection between him and his parents because he was always with the childcare. And you're offering so much to the child as well. You know, you've been crocheting blankets. It sounds like you were really supportive throughout the pregnancy, not just now you have a grandchild. I think there's more conversations. I feel like there's a massive miscommunication that has gone on here. One of you is thinking one thing, one's thinking another. Steve's thinking now that he's got to choose between the women in his life, and that's not beneficial to anyone. It's not beneficial to him, Amy, or you, or the baby at the end of the day. Like, they want to have a relationship with their grandparents when it comes to it. Amy's going to want the assistance from the women around her. Steve's going to want a relationship with his mum. Bob's your uncle. We can all be one happy family. Just fuck off and call yourself Nanny Bertha. You know? I'm wondering, I was going to say maybe you're more traditional, but you sound like the coolest grandma. So, yeah. It's a tough one, that. I think you just need to speak to Steve a bit. But, like, just go out for dinner, have him round for a coffee. Just see what's going on, because there's maybe conversations between them pair. There's these insecurities of them being a bit more an older parent that they're projecting onto you. I don't know. It's out my pay grade.
Please fill my cup. Am I really asking for much? It's been a long week, I'm looking for fun. Please fill my cup. Find me under the sun. SOS, I'm just looking for a good time. Oh, 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 oh. And I'm singing like, whoa, oh, oh, oh. Lit check, been a minute, let me hit the homies in a group text. 10 years, same team. True vets. Gotta